Just two of us. Hey there. Welcome to another edition of Thursday Night Grow Pros Training. Coming to you live with myself and G, all the way from the UK. Thanks for staying up, G. Appreciate your time.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Tonight, we're just going to talk a little bit about prospecting and what to do and what's available to us as far as that goes. So let me ask you a question. Are you a secret agent? Are you running your own covert operations? What do I mean by that? If nobody knows what you're doing, then how do you expect them to kind of see what you're doing and get involved? So that's kind of the whole premise of tonight. So the biggest thing that we have to do when we're trying to get our business going is prospect. That's the number one thing that we all need to do, and we all need to do it on a consistent basis. So our whole job is to get the message out and really get good at it. So depending on which way you want to go, we have a lot of ways to prospect. We have our warm market, okay? Never be shy about your warm market. You may not get any customers, you may not, but to not share what you have with people is you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? You're in the business to build your business, to build your financial future. And just like Tim spoke about in his video today, share the information with your warm market. If they're not interested in helping you with the products or doing the business themselves, that's cool, as long as they take a neutral response to it and at least support you in your venture, because it's your future, nobody else's. And in the end, it's all about you. That's how it works. So what do we have here? We've got our warm market. So we can chat with them, we can share the info, and we have lots of ways to do that. If you just want to talk to them about it, if you want to share the 2-minute video, if you want to share the 12-minute overview, just give them the link and have them watch it. If they're interested, they'll let you know. If they're not, that's cool too. Just move on. It's all good. We have lots of different ways to prospect, and this goes back to a long time ago when Tim and Pecha gave us all this information. We have Facebook. We can prospect on Facebook. It's one of those things. You can send somebody a private message and just see if they're open to looking at an opportunity. You know, if they're open to creating another revenue stream. If they are, great. We send them a link. It's pretty simple. There is a script for that. So if you don't have it, all you need to do is get with your upline and have them send it to you. Tweak it to make it work for yourself. And you can send out messages. You can do that all day long. And trust me, you can prospect a lot of people in a short amount of time. We have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for business professionals building their businesses. So why not prospect those people, right? Get on LinkedIn, have a look at their profiles, send them a private message. Just all you're doing is asking if they're open to looking. That's it. We're not going to puke on them with a bunch of information. First, you want to see if they're open, right? And if they are, great. We send them the link. We use the systems and the processes that have already been implemented by Tim and Pecha for us. You know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's all been done for us. So it's all cool. We have the MML system, okay, which you should be signed up for that. Just checking a message here. Sorry, got sidetracked. Don't say sorry. We were chatting about that earlier. It's funny when you're talking to prospects, it's don't say sorry. Just continue on. CEOs don't say sorry. We have our MML system. You know what? If you're signed up on the MML system, you can purchase all kinds of different leads in there. There's some aged leads, there's some real-time leads, and there's constantly people that you can connect with. You'll get that information in your system, and you can use the script. We have scripts for all that too, and it's basically simple conversations. We're not overcomplicating it. All we are is the messengers. That's all we are. It's very simple, right? We're just seeing out who's out there and who's open. The MML system is great for that. We have the new dialer system, which is so cool. I'll tell you what, and I do it every day. I'm on the system. In 30 minutes, I have 150 messages out to people's voicemails, period. And I have people calling me on my cell phone, calling and texting me, and then I'm just going through that very short script that Tim created, kind of tweaked it along the way as I get better and more comfortable with how I'm doing it. You know, at first I trained the last week on how it steps, right, to get to a point where people start saying yes and yes and yes. I'm getting so many yeses now. It's incredible because I'm just, it's like, it's second nature, right? I know what to say, I know how to say it, and bang, 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 away we go. When I first started, it was, hey, this is, I forget my name. And we kind of worked from there, right? That's just the way it is. That's all, it's all good. So that is another system where you don't even have to do the dialing, right? In the MML system, you're going to have to do the dialing unless you get the auto dialer from there, which you can do as well. You know, you can get all kinds of different leads in there. So if you want the system to do the dialing for you, that's all in there for you. If you want to do the dialing yourself, you can order different kinds of leads and you can just call them as they come in live. You know, we have different scripts for people that are just coming in brand new right now, or if there are some aged leads, like if they're 3, 4, 5, even 6 months old, you can still call them. If you end up leaving a message, we have a message, the script that you can use to do that. So constantly, you're just getting the message out. That's what you're doing. Then they're in the system, right? And then they're getting the feedback from the autoresponder. So they're going to get dripped on, as they say, right? So those emails will constantly get to them. And you know, you might not get a response right away, you know, but they keep getting dripped on for 30 days. It starts out with an email every couple of days, and then it's once a week. And I've had emails from people that are right on the very last day, the very last email they get, where it's, hey, haven't heard from you, and you know, this is it. And boom, that's when I get an email in my inbox, and there's, oh, don't give up on me yet. I've been following this and want more information. So you just got to give it the time. It just takes time, right? So the MML system is awesome. All kinds of different leads in there. Facebook and LinkedIn, you can prospect on those things all day long and use the links that you have. You don't need to come up with your own scripts. You don't need to come up with your own wording. It's all there. Cut, paste, bang, done, enter. All finished. The new system is fantastic as far as the leads go. Tim and Patia, they actually get leads that are, these are really high-end leads. I got to tell you, these people are, everybody I speak to is way up here. These are people that are not broke. They're not broke in any way, shape, or form, right? And you can just tell with the way you're speaking to them. They're professionals. They're busy, and that's why everything is bang, 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 really quick when you're on the phone. So it's you need to keep the flow going. And most of the time, they're send me a text, send me an email, whatever it is, right? And you send that information. If you get their email, you're putting them in the MML system so that they get the first email, and then they can watch that information from there. And if it's a text, you just have a text ready to copy and paste and go. And as these people are coming in, I'll give you another tip, going back to what I trained on last week. When the numbers come in, you'll see your phone will show their numbers, or the phone number. Write down the last 4 digits. Because when you go back, if you haven't had time, if all of a sudden you're getting so many calls coming in, you're sending them to voicemail, you're trying to keep control. If you don't have those last 4 numbers, you'll forget who they were. And if they wanted a text of some sort, chances are you're not going to remember what, right? So I'll write the last 4 numbers. I'll write their name if I get it. If I don't worry about it. Okay, it's not a big deal. Get the message out. We'll get their name later. It's not that big a deal. Then you can go back. You can find their phone number in your history, and boom, send them a text when things settle down. So that's something that I know. Now, and so we talk about warm market, Facebook and LinkedIn, the MML system, the new system, and then there's social media. So social media, this thing doesn't happen overnight. You can't just post, hey there, it's Mike, I'm here, and they come running. It's one of those things, it takes a while. You need to be consistent, and it takes time to gather a following, for people to get to know you, right? If they like your post, they like what you have to say. When you're doing your posts, you're sharing information that can help better what they're doing. Okay, it's not about you puking on them about about what we do or anything else. That's not important. It's about adding value to what they have and helping them. Because by providing that kind of information, people are intrigued. You can see people like Pacha, when she's posting, boom, she's always adding value to someone, right? And she's consistent. You can see that she posts more than once a day, right? I'm not the most consistent guy on Facebook. My fault. I know. That's something I got to get better at, and I will. It's all good. Having a running from your business page. So there's a, do you do this from your personal page? Do you do it from your business page? I think long term, you may want to go with a business page, but when you're first getting going, nothing wrong with using your personal page and starting to gather some kind of a following, right? You can always create a business page and kind of shift people over from there. You can post the same kind of things on each page, right? Because it'll reach different audiences. So you kind of build them up as you go, both of them, and eventually you can go over to a business page fully. And that's something you can do over time. As far as building a social media following, what to post, if you're not sure, again, get with your upline. Even, contact Pecha. She's happy to help people, right? She's an expert at it, so why wouldn't she want to help you? But it's all about just adding value, right? Something that you learn. So if you had a training with your mentor and you learned something that day, put a post out there, right? And just say, hey, here's something I learned. This might help you as well. And you don't know who you're going to tweak as far as that goes, which is very cool. So social media, again, that's something, it takes time. It takes time to build, and it takes consistency to build it. It's just like anything. As far as prospecting goes, it's about being consistent and showing up. If you're constantly just stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting, your results are probably going to be the same. That's just reality. You need consistency. You need to do it, every day. Allot yourself a bit of time to do something so that you're constantly moving forward, right? Because if you stop for a week and then you start for a couple of days and then you stop for another week, you're not going to build any consistency, and you're really not going to get any better in what you're doing. You're better to just jump in and do it. Force yourself to do it consistently. Close your office door, hang a sign out front and say, hey, I'm building this for you guys. Don't interrupt me. And just do it. Find the time, whether it's a half an hour a day, whether it's an hour a day, whether it's 2 hours a day, whatever you can do. Because remember, you got into this for a reason. You're looking for your financial future, right? You're looking to change your life. And in the end, it's up to you. It's up to you to do it. It's up to you to find the will and the way to get it done. There's all kinds of tools that are available from Tim and Pecha to help us do it, but it's up to you to do it. There's also, just so you guys know, there's more coming on the way. I know there's more like a social media advertising platform that's coming. I don't know the timelines right now. The MML system is tweaking something as well, so that we can start to take advantage of other ways of generating leads as well, because it's all about being able to talk to people. The more people you talk to, the better off you are. So stay consistent. Blah, 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 blah. The more you prospect, the more no's, the closer you get to a yes. That's all it is. Just let it roll up like water off a duck's back. Don't let a no stop you, right? The more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. That's just the way it is. I want to share a story that Tim shared with me. Okay, this is what he did way back in the days of having a phone that had a dial pad, not like what we have now with our auto dialers and something. Okay, he called 30,000 people. 30,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. Do you think he was determined to get this deal done? And he'll tell you up front, he was the worst guy at this ever, but he had the will and he had the determination to get it done because he saw what it could do, right? If you get it to that point. And what he did was he got up, he did his prospecting every day. Eventually, he got himself 3 people that he coached. So he coached them, but he kept on prospecting, right? Coach, prospect, because you're still building your business. Over time, they made him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they led him to 7 more people. And out of those combined people, he became a multimillionaire. So it didn't happen overnight. He had to work hard at it. And so you can see it doesn't take a lot, but it does take the effort. And that's why the pay plans for these companies are so lucrative for the ones that stick it out. Stick it out, build your team, you'll be rewarded, right? Doesn't matter if it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Stick it out. It's still a way shorter time span than anything else out there, right? Stay consistent and build the business. And from what we're being taught by Tim, from what he knows, which is way up here, it shortens up the whole timeline, right? If you just stay consistent, stay plugged in, show up on these Hangouts, right? But get to work. be consistent in what you're doing, keep prospecting, keep getting better. If you're stuck somewhere, you need to get the help to get yourself past it. So don't be scared to reach out to people to ask for help. That's what it's all about. We're a team. And let's see, that's kind of all I wanted to touch on prospecting. It's pretty simple. That is what we have to do, period. That's all it is. That's what it's all about. So what to do when you're talking to people. So the other thing is as far as that prospecting. The other thing that we need to start implementing is talking to people live, okay? And that's going to meetups. Find some meetups, find some networking groups, find something where you can get into a room and you can talk to a number of people that are all open, that are all willing to not, you don't have to talk with them for a half an hour at one meeting. You can get to know them real quickly, exchange business cards. That's another thing. You might want to create a business card. Here's mine. I'll show you. It's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Yes. My wife designed it. And all you need to do is switch business cards back and forth and go meet for a coffee with them later, right? You don't have to do it that night. But go to these networking events and don't go in with the intention of finding that new business partner. Go in with the intention of, hey, I'm going to go meet some people and I'm going to look for some customers for my products because I've got some awesome products. And just share that information with them. When they ask what you do, I market for a company out of Florida. We're into anti-aging, skincare, weight management, weight loss system, absolutely incredible stuff. When can we go for a coffee? We can chat more, right? You can keep it that simple. You don't need to come up with a ton of information. They don't want to hear it, right? Because everybody just wants to share their little bits at these networking events, because that's what they're all about. So don't be afraid to talk to people live. That's a great way to generate customers. And think of it this way. Say you meet somebody and they want to lose some weight, and all of a sudden you've got this awesome product, and you say, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you become a wholesale customer, right? I don't even want you to buy this at retail. Buy it at wholesale. It's cheaper. That doesn't matter to me. They see the products, you plug them into the system of how that system works. All of a sudden they fall in love with the whole thing, and all of a sudden they start thinking, well, maybe I could, I should share this with people, right? And let them get into the business themselves that way. So don't always just go into a conversation of thinking of, this is going to be my next rep. Don't worry about that. Have a conversation with people. Be a solution to their problem. Chat with them, ask them questions, get to know them, find out. Maybe they have those puffy eyes underneath here and they want to get rid of that, right? Hey, I've got a product you should try. I'll give you a sample. Let's try this on and see how this works. So take a different approach to it. Do yourself a favor, Google yourself some, just Google meetups in whatever city you're in. I'm in Calgary, so I did Meetup Calgary. Boom, there's a whole network there. I'm scheduled to go to a couple of them next week. So it's that simple. Networking groups, they meet in the morning, some meet at lunchtime, some meet in the evenings. Meetups can be, lunchtimes or evenings, and they're just casual get-togethers, So don't stress about it. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. People just are there to meet people, and you'll be welcomed with open arms at all of these things. That's just how it works, right? Because they're there doing the same things. They're building their businesses. They're looking for customers for their products and their services. So create yourself a business card, get a website link that goes to your products page, so that you are looking for customers, and that's okay to do. On that, I think that's what I wanted to share. And let me see if there's any questions there. Looks like it's nope, quiet audience. Everybody's bored. That's okay. But that's kind of where I want to leave it. Is prospecting is the name of the game. That's what we need to focus on when we're first building our business. And that's what we need to continue on. And then when we get some reps, we'll coach them the way we've been coached, but we'll continue prospecting and continue going and continue going and continue going. So, G, why don't you come on and share some of your success stories, because you are a prospecting queen as far as live events go, and I'm sure everybody would love to hear what you're doing and how you're doing that.
Yeah, do you know what I think? The really important thing is to remember that everybody wants what we've got. Who doesn't want to have more time? Who doesn't want to have more, financial security? Who doesn't want to be, healthy and look great. I mean, who doesn't? You know, I just sort of think we need to believe that what we've got is what everybody wants. And you just have to connect with a few people and get them to open up and tell you what their life is like, for there to be evidence of how desperately they want it. And the thing is just, you know, when you're new to this sort of thing, you can just feel like, I feel a bit awkward, or I feel like it's a little bit sort of forced, or that kind of thing. But the more you do it, the better it becomes. And, you know, people, whenever I meet people now, I actually sort of ask them what their experience is, you know, and I'm straight up front. You know, when I meet people face to face, I'm straight up front about what I do. I'm really proud of what I do. I love it. I can see the business model working. It is working. And people, you know, often sort of go like that. But when you say to them, you know, what is your experience? And they sort of start telling you about that, and you say, yeah, you know, and you start talking to people, what you'll find is a lot of people are really doing direct sales. They're doing direct network marketing. You know, how many people are saying to their friends, I've tried this product, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, and off they go. So everybody is already in the business, but not everybody's being paid for it. So when you look at it that way, you can see that actually it's nothing new. It's something that we're all doing already anyway. So when you take like the hibby-jibbies out of it, it all becomes completely natural. And I think that's really important. The more you practice, the more you get out and just have conversations with people, the easier it becomes to listen to them and really sort of get them to open up and talk to you about things. Because if you don't practice listening to people, you're never going to get good at presenting the opportunity. You know, it takes time. And I think it's really important, Mike. I think it's great that you've gone through all these different steps and different avenues that we can look at meeting people. When I first started, I felt funny about going to my warm market, and it showed. So my warm market wasn't keen, but you know, now that I've been doing it for 6 or 7 months, and we're really sort of gaining a lot of momentum, and, you know, we're doing really well, now I'm going back to my warm market, and now my warm market are really responsive. There may not be business partners, and to be honest, you have to be selective, okay? Because you can choose who you want to work with. And so some of my family, I'd never even asked them to be part of the business, but they make great customers, and some of them really need the products. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about knowing who I'm going to be working with, who's going to work well with me. And I say that straight up front. You know, I just say, well, you know, let's have a conversation to see whether you're going to fit into my team. And people all of a sudden are like, hang on. So you're not going to hang on to my ankles until I say yes? I'm like, no, of course I'm not. You know, it's up to you whether you want a better life for yourself or not. I want a better life for myself, and that's why I'm doing this. But, you know, your life's your life, like sort of thing. You know, it doesn't change what I'm going to be doing. The other thing you sort of touched on also is, you know, we've got the direct link with people, you know, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, you know, the meetups and that sort of thing. You've got that direct one-to-one connection, which is actually a lot more successful. You get a lot more traction that way. The social media, the marketing, that's a lot more general. So you have to be doing a mix of, you know, the long game and sort of the short game, you know, because if you're not doing both, you are going to start to feel disillusioned. So the dialer is great. And I know so many people on, you know, social media say people don't want to be called. You want to be texted? You want to be, you know, emailed? Seriously, I would rather speak to somebody and hear what they are like and see what their energy is like, and sort of connect with them a lot better when you sort of phone them and speak to them, rather than just getting email messages, because that just completely, it loses the whole tone and flavor of the conversation. And then I was just going to say just very, very quickly about, you know, no's. You know, people, when you ask people whether they open and they want to have a look at stuff, they know that there's a process. They know that there's a video to watch. They know that it's going to, you know, it's going to need a bit of input. It's going to need a bit of commitment and that kind of thing. And people often say no because it's not the time right now. It doesn't mean no, or I don't want what you've got. Everybody wants what we've got. You have to remember that. You have to trust that. But it just might not be the time for them right now. So no pressure, absolutely, keep my number. Let's get some information. You can touch base with me later. It's not a problem. And I think when you sort of have that approach, people respond a lot better, because it is very much like it's on the table if you want it. You don't want it, no problem. You want it, no problem. Let's just see. And as you said, Mike, we're the messengers. We're not out there sort of trying to force feed people. We're just offering them a opportunity. So it's just really knowing that where that person is might not be where they need to be. But the more you talk to people, the clearer it becomes on who is right. And you said another really good thing earlier. Don't worry about, not everybody's going to be your prospect. I love striking up conversations with everybody, and I now try and do it all the time. It doesn't matter what. I mean, today I was in a coffee place and I got the woman next to me who was walking out the door to buy a coffee that I was about to try, because I want to see how I can influence people and excite them about something and get them to buy. Because if I can get someone to buy a coffee when they don't even drink coffee, how much better is it going to be, talking to them about the business? So, I'm practicing the whole time. I'm practicing all this sort of stuff, and it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. The meetups. The one thing I think is really important, because I go to quite a few meetups and I go to lots and lots of different ones. Some of them are quite stiff, you've got like 60 seconds to do your pitch. I don't really like those. I like the more sort of casual ones, that sort of thing. So I'm actually creating my own. And the reason why I don't like a lot of the meetups sort of thing is because when you speak to people, you almost feel like you're just speaking to, you could be talking to the wall, because they're not hearing anything I'm saying. They just waiting for me to go, and then they're in with like their pitch and what they want me to do and all this kind of thing. And that's really so unattractive. So my one really big tip is get out and go to meetups, okay? Don't be put off by those people who are just so closed that they're not listening to you, but be the person who listens to them, because people like to be heard. They like to have an opportunity to tell you what they're doing. And when you listen to them, you actually create a bit more of a connection. And if they are self-aware, they will then listen to you and you can have a better connection. So, just with the meetup things, I don't like them when people are completely closed, but the way around it is to be the person that you want to meet, because when you are open and you listen to people, you're going to attract the right kind of guys to you. And you know what, if you keep going to meetups where you sort of don't find you gelling with anybody, start your own. Start your own. Look for people who are sort of like-minded. Petty is doing an incredible thing with her Dallas women network group, and you can see how much it's grown because she's attracting all the right kind of people. And I think, the one thing about the meetups is when you're talking to people, be curious about them. Ask them about, what their greatest challenge is, who their dream client is. Ask them questions about what they need help with, And Tim's got some really great lines, because when you get them to open up, it is so much easier to offer them a solution. And, people can feel it. When you sometimes talk to people, or when people are talking at you and you're sort of looking at their hair, sort of thinking, man, have you washed your hair recently? Or, you sort of think like you should have ironed that shirt, or, because people are talking so much at you, you can feel there's that disassociation. And I think that's what we need to break when we're talking to people. We really need to just sort of connect a lot better. Yeah. And that's all I wanted to add.
I think that's awesome information. I thank you very much. That's what it's all about. It's all about connecting with people, right? It's not about, not everybody on the planet is your prospect. Sorry, they're just not. Not everybody on the planet is going to join your business. So have a conversation with them. There's nothing wrong with just talking to somebody. That's
absolutely.
And you don't know where it's going to lead to long term, right?
No, exactly. I was on the train. I had one day that suddenly became free this week, and I thought, well, let me go and see a friend who is going to help me with some, sales funnels and all that sort of thing, just that I'm doing. And there were no trains at all. But I thought, oh, well, let me just be open and see, who sits next to me. And so whenever I go anywhere, if there's a little bench with 3 seats and there's one free one in the middle, I sit there, because then I know I can talk to 2 people. So I actually plant myself right where I know that I can be talking to people. And people love to talk. They love to complain about that. So you give them an opportunity. Get them talking about all of that. And the one lady I met, I sort of thought to myself, okay, you're not going to be part of my team, but you could really love the product. And, we changed trains twice, and she followed me, even though she told me how much she didn't like the industry. And by the end of it, she was asking me for a sample, because I just was very, no pressure. This is what I'm doing. This is why I love it. So just, put yourself in situations and give people the opportunity to talk to you, because everybody wants to tell you what they think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if you take that approach, where it's just casual, it's a lot easier for people, because then they're thinking, oh, well, aren't you going to headlock me now and throw me in a room and hammer me until I join your business? That's not what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I was talking to a friend, and she said that she actually would look at the business because I'm so aloof about it.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. What do you do? I market for a company out of Florida. Oh, what do you market? We have anti-aging, skincare, weight management, weight loss. Stop. Simple.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah. Awesome. Love it.
Right? And always go back with a question. As soon as you're done answering a question, ask a question. There's another tip. That way you always keep control of the conversation, right? Every time you're asked a question, you can answer it, but throw another question back, because then you just lob the ball back in their court. And keep control. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. People love talking about themselves.
Yeah, definitely. That is such a good tip. I love that. Ask a question.
Yep. And it is that easy, right? Just have conversations with people. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. And you just need to practice.
That's right. Yeah, practice. That's what it's all about, right? Practice, get better. And anything you're doing as far as prospecting goes, just practice and you'll get better. Get coaching and you'll get better. And you won't have to take as long as Tim did to get a multimillionaire. You can shortcut the process, because we're being taught by a master. On that note, though, I think we'll tie it up for the night. Doesn't look like there's any other questions or anything, so we're all cool. Unless, did you want to add anything else, G?
Jim, I just think have fun. If you don't want to have fun, go and do a 9 to 5. If you really don't want to have fun, go and do a 9 to 5. If you want to have fun, just get out and have fun. And I think it's this business is all about being creative, and I now have a thing where once a month I face a fear. So I face a fear, and once a month I do something really fun. So we went to the adult bouncy castle on last Friday, which was awesome. And I'm going to do a karaoke for the first time ever in a couple of weeks' time. So it's just about self-growth and development. The more self-aware you are, the more confident you become about yourself, the easier it is to connect with people and the more attractive you become. So just get out there and have fun. Have fun. It's, talking to people is just such a lovely, lovely thing to do. And you offering solutions. We've got the solution to everybody's problems. And if they worked as hard on this business as they do in their traditional businesses, as you say, the rewards are huge. So, it's so worth it. And keep focused on your why. Remember, as you said, remember your why. It's so, so, so important. But it's so much fun. So don't put too much stress or pressure on it. Because if you do, you make it awkward for your recruits. It is just supposed to be as natural as having a conversation. That's all it is. It's nothing strange. It's nothing weird. It's nothing hard. It's just talking.
It is. And you know, it's how long has selling by word of mouth been around? Since the Stone Age. That's the way it is. You've been down to Wilma's Dinosaur Hut for beef ribs. They're good. That's what it is. That's what we do, right? I know a fella out here, he wrote a book. He was a professional football player. He got silver in wrestling way back in the day. And he's, got really popular or very successful in sales. And then he became a professional speaker and trainer. And his book was titled Get Comfortable Being Uncomfortable. Just get used to the fact that you're going to be doing some things that will take you out of your comfort zone, and you have to. That's all it is. And I'm going to leave you with that. We'll call it a night. Have yourselves a great weekend. G, thank you so much for your input. You are absolutely awesome as always. And have yourselves a great night.
See ya.